Welcome to Attleboro Update. With great local man in need of a kidney receives the gift of life, festivities for the Big Read are in full swing, and partner organization Triborough Youth Theater showed that Attleboro.
Welcome to Attleboro Update, where you can get the latest in what's going on in the Attleboro community. You can watch all of our content by visiting our website, AACS.com, by downloading the AACS mobile app, or if you have a Roku, you can search for the AACS Roku channel. After nearly 3 years of construction and about 1 week left to go before the first day of school in Attleboro, the ribbon was cut outside of the front entrance of the new Attleboro High School. The ribbon-cutting ceremony was held on Tuesday and featured many area leaders and dignitaries. We spoke with Attleboro School Building Committee member Jack Jacoby.
I'm Jack Jacoby. I'm the Vice Chair of the School Building Committee, and this is the ribbon cutting. School opens for the students on the 29th, and we had our ceremony today. We actually have achieved substantial completion of the building as of yesterday, and so teachers are moving in, furniture is moving in every day, and we will be ready for the opening of school in another 10 days or so. This was an 8-year process, and it was a dream 8 years ago. We thought that if we were lucky, the state would allow us to replace the boilers and the windows next door. And they came down and they said, you know what? You need to do a much bigger project. And we agreed with them. We said, where do we sign? And that's what we did. And so we hired a great team of professionals, and we worked like crazy to get to a groundbreaking about 3 years ago, and then 3 years of construction, and here we are. September 24th, a Saturday morning between 9 and noon, the building will be open for every member of the public who wants to come in and take a look. We just wanted to have kind of a soft opening for the first couple of weeks of school, just to make sure that all the furniture was in, all of the teachers' rooms were set up, that education was going on. And so, but September 24th, a Saturday morning, everyone is invited. This is truly a shining sapphire of a building. We love it.
Democratic gubernatorial candidate Attorney General Maura Healey made a campaign stop Tuesday to the South Attleboro Commuter rail station. The station has been closed for a year and a half because of the poor condition of the structure. The stop came just as her campaign announced a transportation plan. Here are some of her remarks during the visit.
Unfortunately, as I learned today, this is a station that was built in 1990. It was not built with the quality materials that it should have been built with. It was not built to be accessible, and for years nothing was ever really done in terms of maintenance, and it was pretty staggering to look underneath and to see the rust, to see literally holes in the stairways and the treads missing. It just really a sign of the neglect here. But the good news is that thanks to the advocacy of these folks, things are going to change. And this is a station that, working with the state, working with the federal government, is going to get the upgrade that it needs. And that is going to help, I know, transform this area. That's what investment means. And that's why I think what President Biden has done and Congress with the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act is so important. It's why the advocacy of our state legislature in supporting funding for infrastructure is so important, because something like this, to me, it's not just about commuting. It's about connecting our economy, connecting our economies. As you think about this starting down in Rhode Island and running all the way up to Boston, it's about quality way of life. It's about the opportunity to create other economic development opportunities around this area. We talked about the other station and the transit-oriented housing that's going in there, and how important that is, especially at a time when housing has become so expensive and out of reach for so many. So, I am really happy to be here today. I wanted to see firsthand what had happened with the state of things and disrepair, and I wanted to learn about what was actually possible and what could be implemented. Earlier today, I announced a transportation plan, and I think a lot of what I put forward in that plan is consistent with what I've heard today. I called for the creation of a transportation safety chief who would specifically be charged with identifying and reviewing existing and contemplated projects to make sure that the standards were in place so that something like this doesn't happen again. It shouldn't take a closure to necessitate action. The people of Attleboro deserved more, the people of the Commonwealth deserve more. So creating a transportation safety chief is one of the things I've put forward. I've also called for an audit, a review of existing projects and projects that are scheduled for delivery, because I would want to know as governor where things really are in terms of the pipeline. Again, this is about connecting the infrastructure of housing and transportation and our economy and our workforce. So we've got to hold people accountable. The other thing I've called for is investments in transit-oriented housing. We know that that is a successful model, and so there's a lot of opportunity for that in communities like Attleboro and around the Commonwealth. We need to continue to electrify our transit system, and that's one thing that we talked about today. This happens to be a spot that is primed for electrification and should be harnessing what comes online. And so part of my plan, of course, calls for electrification by 2040. We've got to do that to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. We know that transportation emissions are really contributing to the decline in the climate situation, and this is an opportunity. And I think about all of these things and the opportunity to have a system that is better functioning. We will not have a functioning economy in the Commonwealth if we don't have a functioning transit system. That includes the commuter rail, it includes the T, it includes our regional transit authorities and regional bus and train lines. We've got to make investment in all of this. We also need to make investments in bridges or roads. I've talked to a lot of mayors and town and city administrators and managers all over the state. Those investments are fundamental as well and contribute directly to the quality of people's lives. So I'm really happy to be here today, delighted to be joined by the delegation, and transportation and improving public transit is going to be a priority for me as governor. I can assure you that. So thank you very much.
Attleboro is one step closer to having a new homeless shelter. Governor Charlie Baker recently announced that $31 million would be awarded to support the development and preservation of 11 housing facilities across the state. The housing project in Attleboro was awarded $5 million toward that effort. The project has moved forward with the collaboration of multiple entities. Attleboro State Representative Jim Hawkins has been a leader in the effort, and we spoke with him to learn more.
This started, it was me and Janet Ricciardi and Steve Duplessis and my legislative director, Tara Major. The facility in Taunton was condemned and wasn't going to be replaced. So we realized that left a complete void for both Attleboro and Taunton. And we were pretty sure that we could build one in Attleboro. So we went around with no money, no checking account, no name, and people believed us. They supported us. They thought it was so important, and they didn't care that we didn't have any of the legal, we were not a legal entity or anything. I was able to get close to $250,000 in earmarks through the legislature to pay for some of the expenses to create the project. And Bay Coast Bank very generously gave us another $250,000. Because the problem when you start a project like this without an ongoing organization to support it is the lawyers' fees and the architects' fees and the consultants' fees and the environmental engineers and all of that. And we had all that between the state money and the money from Bay Coast Bank, and La Salette Shrine came in early on with some money. We didn't even have, they gave us a check, we didn't even have an account to put it in. This was just a dream, and now it's come together. We've got money from Hope Health since then, and we just won a $5 million grant from DHCD, which covers the construction costs. But we wouldn't have been eligible without all that preliminary work being done. The two considerations they wanted was, one, that it was an underserved community, and it certainly is. There's nothing in all of northern Bristol County, Attleboro, or Taunton, and that it was shovel-ready. And because of the generosity of a lot of people who believed this was important and believed us that we could pull it off, it was shovel-ready. So we got, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we got $5 million towards the construction. What's different about this is it has emergency beds, which is what we were worried about last winter when people had no place to go and it was below zero. It has emergency beds for that. There's 18 emergency beds, and it has 22 permanent supported housing units. So the emergency beds are not to live in, they're just that, they're emergency beds. The permanent supported housing units are each 300 square feet. They're designed for one person. It has a kitchenette, a bathroom, air conditioning, television, a bed and an easy chair, and a door that locks, so people are safe there. And there's on-site services for literacy, addiction, and mental health. So this is targeted to the people that are most vulnerable, the people who are chronically homeless, people who have been homeless for 10 or 15 years. The other thing that's really cool about this project is it's professionally run. It took a long time. NeighborWorks was just merged with another organization. We knew that we wanted NeighborWorks to run this project, and it took a long time to get them on board. And we'll credit them because they're the ones that are making this happen. We'll have providers. There'll be Catholic Social Services. We'll manage the emergency beds because that's what they do. They did do it in Taunton with Samaritan House. They do it in Fall River. They're very good at that. And Father Bills will manage the permanent supported housing units. Father Bills does that in several other locations. And the interesting thing about Father Bills, about this whole project with the permanent supported housing unit, this caseworkers on staff 24/7, on-site services. And because of that, the people that come here, the chronically homeless, obviously if they've been living on the streets or in the woods for 10 years, there's some deep-seated issues. They could stay here forever. The state picks up anything that they can't cover on the rent, or all of their rent if they don't have any income. They could stay forever, but they don't. Once they're in a safe place with a door that locks, they get a shower every day, they have 3 meals a day, the services are available to them, whatever they need might be. They only stay for a couple years and they're ready to go out. So this really does, on a local basis, it sounds a little corny, our goal is to end homelessness. This could do that.
SMARTS, the Southeastern Massachusetts Arts Collaborative, recently wrapped up their multi-art summer program at Brennan Middle School. They held a final presentation to showcase students' work. We spoke with the executive director to learn more about the program.
Hi, I'm Sherry Weiss, and I have been executive director of the Southeastern Massachusetts Arts Collaborative since 1987. And I am thrilled to still be here and loving the final presentation, which we're just about to showcase what the children have been doing in this amazing 4-week intensive program. We have creative writing, the children have written stories, and we have those hanging up, and we have visual arts and dance and drama and singing and percussion. You'll see the joy on all of their faces. They've had 4 weeks of fun expressing themselves and being creative. And I'm still loving to see the joy and the happiness on all the children's faces and work with amazing teachers and artists and young people to share the passion of the arts with them. We have a website, we are on Facebook, we have a Facebook page with a ton of pictures and explanations of all of the activities and programs. The arts are so important, and you will be able to see how important it is for these children who come and participate in the Smart Summer Institute.
I'm Tori Augusta. I'm the program coordinator at Smarts Collaborative. This is my 7th amazing summer at Smarts. And tonight we are showing our showcase of our K through 8 students, and they're going to show off all the things they've been doing all month. This actually takes us 1 whole year to plan. As of next week, we start planning for next summer, and obviously the past few years have been different, and we've been moving things along, and this is our first full-scale show we've done since 2019, so we've been working around the clock to make sure that everyone is safe, having fun, and also learning through the arts. So we work together. We have a lot of awesome staff, a lot of awesome teens that help out, and it's really, really a group effort. It's definitely been a change. It's been a big transition for all of us to have a few years off and then go back to a big show like this. It feels amazing. I'm excited because this is what makes it feel so special, is to see the kids work all month on something and be able to show it off to their friends and family. It means a lot to us as well to see that they've learned so much all month and they get to go home and take this experience with them, and it's even better after the hard few years that we've had. The best part of Smarts is it's a fun job. You get to I'm at camp all summer long. And as my job, I'm the program coordinator, I'm making sure the kids are safe, having fun. I get to be in all the classes, make sure everyone's enjoying themselves. I get to know the kids and the parents. I know every kid's name every summer, and that makes me feel really special to be a part of their lives for such a small time. And some of these kids come back year after year, and this is my 7th summer, and some of these kids have been here the entire time. And now they're 14 years old and going into high school, and I think it's priceless what you can get from an experience like this.
That's all for this week's edition of Attleboro Update. From everyone here at AACS, thank you for watching.